guys, to everyone, it's Ada from Posendrock. Today we are with us Antoine from MikhMakh, which is I'm really curious to know more. First of all, I want to just ask you what's going this at least here hot hell summer. How is it in Sweden?
Uh, I'm doing great, and I mean, if we can talk about Swedish summer, it's quite hectic. It changes all the time, which I'm
Really?
thankful for because I hear in Italy you're
Yeah,
basically in a oven, so we are
exactly.
kind of
We're cooking for
great.
good. Yeah, yeah, we're cooking. Yeah, we're literally like that. Yeah, of course. Before we start to speak about how MikhMakh started, or as well, like
Yes,
in general, how we arrived to fresh sales because it's already out.
yeah,
So
yes.
we can talk about the album. Yes, we can. So I want to get as well like your musical background, Antoine, because like we were mentioning with outside the interview, you moved from France. So
Yes.
how you started your journey in music? So how you ended up in Sweden and just starting making.
Well, I will do the quick version, but basically, I was born in a family of luthiers, so they build
Oh,
classical instruments, so
okay.
violin, cello, viola. I think my father built one contrabass, you know, the big,
But yeah,
and you know, building one is enough to not build anymore. so so they
it's not,
focused on that,
yeah,
and I was basically born into that. I started with violin because that's what was there. I
yeah.
was told that I started at 3, but I don't really remember. so
Three were
I,
a
I wa-
kid.
yeah, so I did 3 years of violin, then moved to cello
Okay.
because a friend of mine did so, and so I was jealous because he had a bigger instrument, and that's unacceptable. So I switched to
Yeah, to the
cello too,
child. Okay.
and then by after 3 years of cello, I discovered AC/DC and Metallica, and
Okay.
I decided to play drums. But we lived in a small apartment in Madrid, so
Okay.
Madrid, Spain. And so
Okay.
instead of saying, yeah,
So
so that wasn't.
how is connected
Yeah.
with France?
Oh yeah, I mean, how it's connected with France. I am French by nationality. I only have the
Okay.
French nationality, but I grew up in Spain, in Madrid,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and um, and so I moved. I mean, I moved back. I moved to France for my studies, and I met my
Okay.
wife there. So I moved.
Congratulations.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, thank you. And now I'm living in Sweden.
I hope you
So a
bring
lot of
you brought her with you,
yes,
right? You deliver.
yeah,
Okay.
and the cat too. So we are
Okay. A big
the,
family.
the, the yeah, the whole family moved to Sweden. But yeah, basically, so around the age of I had 1 year in my life where I didn't play an instrument and I felt miserable. so
Come on.
um, yeah, but it really felt like quite empty because by the time you're
Yeah, your
9, 10,
wife.
you're sort of trying to find yourself,
Mhm.
and you identify yourself as a no, but I am the music guy in the room,
Yeah.
and so stopping cello, I
Yeah.
needed to pick something up. I wanted to do drums. It wasn't quite possible. I ended up with a guitar, which is great because with electric guitar you can play Metallica and AC/DC.
Okay.
And
Plus, you had
so
your own culture with the cello and the violin previously.
yeah, I mean that probably
Yeah.
helped. Like the
Yeah,
the the
I
thing of
did.
fretting
Yeah.
fretting with one hand and so on. It wasn't so hard, and it was a bit easier in the sense that you don't have to find the right note.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to find the right fret, but it's the place where you find the right note is
Okay.
bigger on a guitar than on a
Yeah.
cello or a violin.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
So that
course.
helped,
Yeah.
and
I,
um, and it went well. And after years of doing that, I figured it would be great to just do that with my life. So I went to music school in France,
okay.
to the Music Academy International,
Okay.
and after that, I formed MikhMakh. so that's
Okay. So
long
MikhMakh
story
started
short.
in France.
Yes,
Okay. They are
uh,
still based there, or everyone moved with you in Sweden?
no, I mean I am the main composer, and I
Okay.
was the leader of the band. So I've always wanted MikhMakh to be a band, and I still want to.
Yeah.
But so far, like after music school, I composed
Oh.
the very confused but existing
For,
Groovy Wonderland. So the
okay.
first album,
The first
and
album.
of
Okay.
course,
So you
yeah,
didn't do
when you
any
are
demo. You didn't do any
no,
demo EP. Straightforward an album. I like that. Straightforward.
yeah,
Vicious.
and so with that, I said, to a friend, a drummer, and he knew a bass player. I said, "Do you guys want to play this?" And they said, "Yes, we will." So that's how MikhMakh 1.0 was born.
Yeah.
And then with that team, I did Sunrise, so the second
The second
album,
album,
but still
sorry. Okay.
composing everything. So it was always I compose everything, I show to the guys, and then they do
They
their own
join.
version.
Yeah, their own
But
version.
it's always like, if you don't know what to do, default to what I wrote.
Okay.
But if you know a better way of doing that same
Okay,
thing,
okay, okay.
then go
So
ahead.
let's say they can show you their own version of it,
Yeah,
and if they maybe don't find a way, like I like, for example, your version, or I don't know how to
yeah.
find a better version, so they stick with yours.
Yeah, I mean, because I've been in other bands and I still am in other bands, and I
Yeah.
find it quite difficult to write jamming, because
Okay.
for me it's like playing a game that doesn't
Okay.
have rules, so it can be anything. And it's like, okay,
Okay.
but if it can be anything, then you have so many options that it's paralyzing in some way. So
Yeah.
for me, the fact that I when I hear a riff, I hear
Mhm.
drums, and I usually hear vocals, and I usually hear
Okay.
a drum beat. So I write that down,
Okay.
and that way I bring context to everybody.
Okay.
It's like, this is the context in
Yeah.
which we are playing, and of
No.
course the drummer will have more ideas regarding drums,
Yeah, of
but it will
course,
be in
that's
that
the
context.
tempo. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it's been. And so when moving to Sweden,
Yeah.
I composed Flash Sale and did everything and so on.
Okay.
Um, uh, but the two guys stayed in France, so
Okay.
I'm rebuilding the live band here in
Oh,
Sweden.
so
And so
let's say,
far I have,
okay.
yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
No, 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 say. So far you, because, okay, you had,
Yeah, I mean, so far I have Olle Solberg, so it's a very Swedish name. He's the drummer.
okay.
And my wife, she's a painter, and she's super duper kick-ass at doing so. But she's
Really?
also a kick-ass bass player. So in the gigs we've been doing,
And why she's not in the interview?
she's helping out.
Why she's not in the interview? She's in the band
Yeah,
too.
but she's actually working on a guitar, so that's why she's not in the interview. And that's also why I have to find another bass player, because she's very busy with painting. So when it comes to
That's-
touring and so on,
She
it will
can.
be good to have someone else.
Okay, so let's say that. Okay, so and until for now, like for fresh sale,
Yes.
MikhMakh is being. I don't want to say one man project, but it's been you composing and everything, maybe
Yes.
arranging with other musicians, but mainly the idea, the
Yeah,
concept,
exactly.
it was you. So now that you moved in Sweden, maybe with, I don't know, next albums or something, you're building
Yeah.
live musician, or literally MikhMakh entire band. Like literally, this is the best player, this is the whatever, this is the drummer.
I mean, both. It's sort
Okay.
of both, because I don't know. You know the band Freak Kitchen? They are from Sweden here also.
No.
I mean, they're from we do sort of
Mhm.
similar alternative metal
Okay.
type of thing, and they are a band. Like I they the team right now, like the
Yeah.
band as it is, the lineup has been the same for 24 years or something like that. So they are
Okay.
really a band, and live they sound like a band. But the main guy,
Okay.
Matthias Eklund, he's composing everything. So
Okay.
I like the fact that I can compose everything and
Okay.
then have my go-to
Yeah,
drummer and bass player to record and play live,
Okay.
basically.
Okay. But apart from that, do you ever thought about doing your own Antoine project, like your own solos project, literally like, I don't know, your own releases apart from the, or
That's yeah, that's why I'm fighting not to be called, because sometimes I meet fellow musicians who call me MikhMakh, because here in Sweden being called Antoine Mkhitaryan is quite weird for them, because it's a French name, very French, Antoine, and
yeah,
an Armenian name. So
yeah.
MikhMakh is easy to say.
But it's
But
beautiful.
thank you.
They
Uh,
should learn is that other culture. We should learn because it's I like learning other cultures and everything. Even if we are in Europe and in the world, like to learn. It's
uh-huh.
important and to say correctly as well. So I because you I don't, I mean you try to say the Swedish name correctly too. So we should
But yeah,
come
yeah.
here.
But I'm the immigrant in this situation, so it's normal that I'm adapting myself. But in any case, so I have fellow
Yeah.
musicians who call me by MikhMakh just out of ease of use. But I really like having, like, MikhMakh has a sound to itself
Okay.
that on the first album was quite cluttered, but then
Okay.
became more and more clear,
Okay.
and that I think now has sort of an identity to itself, like the
Yeah.
groovy riffs and melodic singing and so on. And I hope that with the albums it will become like more and more clear what
Proceed.
MikhMakh is all about.
Yeah.
But I mean, MikhMakh, I release the music videos on my YouTube channel just out of ease of use.
Yeah.
But I've done like instrumental songs and acoustic songs
Okay.
just for YouTube, just
You have it for
releasing it
yourself.
there as Antoine Mkhitaryan. But
Okay.
so
Okay.
far I haven't done like an Mkhitaryan experience thing because I'm
Who
busy enough
knows?
with MikhMakh.
Yeah. Of
Yes,
course.
yes, yes. It would be great.
Yeah, of course. But I think, I mean, like, of course, moving throughout this country, which historically, and I'm an historian, so this is my as well. This is my problem as well. I tend to think a lot about history because history is
Yeah,
a wheel and allows you to get to know as well. I think a lot of the culture and the music is connected as well to the history, of course. So Spain, France, and even Sweden, they have their own roots of music, like the folkloristic type of music.
yes.
In a kind of way, it does affect you growing up and moving different, and especially studying in France music and growing up in Spain and then in France and Sweden. We can hear that in the albums that affect your way of playing.
I think so, but it's always complicated to like being completely conscious
Mhm.
about what has influenced what,
Okay.
because in the end, when I'm writing, I don't know what's gonna come out, and hopefully by the end I'm like, I didn't know I could write that. So this sort of
Yeah.
self surprise or whatever. But
That's
from
cool.
what I hear, because
Yeah.
growing up in Spain as a French guy, so my two parents are French, and that's why I'm
Okay.
French. I didn't meet the right Spanish people that were very open. So
Okay.
it was sort of a tense subject, and my
Okay.
name is very French. So it was very clear that I wasn't considered exactly the same as them.
Okay.
So the French side took over. Like
Okay.
when I
Okay.
moved to
Okay.
France, I was even a bit too French. When I met Lisa, she was like, "Dial it down, okay? You're French, but here in France, most of the people are French." So, I sort of identified as the French musician for some reason. But obviously, when spend 18 years of your life in
Yeah.
a country, it rubs. You get
Shapes you. Yeah.
quite a few influences, and
Yeah.
I think that in MikhMakh, there's quite a few, like Bakuna Matata, Do It Now. They have this groovy thing where you want
Yeah.
to dance to it. Some people say it sounds a bit Arabic because
Okay.
of the scale note
Okay. Okay. Okay.
choices.
Okay.
For me, it sounds Hispanic, but the Arab Empire was there
Yeah, of
800
course.
years.
It was
So
in Sicily and it was in Spain, the Emirates.
yeah,
We had that before the
so
Normans. Don't watch Vikings,
so I
but
mean,
sorry, don't watch.
so that I mean that
Yeah.
musical thing, I really like it. So both the rhythm and
Mhm.
that scale flavor
Yeah.
I like. And on Flash Sale, the chord choices, there's quite Latin things. Like
Okay.
I'm a Latin guy. Both friends and Spain are
Spain are
Latin.
Latin country.
So
Just to
I
explain
think
to
that can
people,
be heard.
just to explain to people that can watch you maybe from South America. As a Latin, we mean equal Roman Empire. That's
Yeah,
what
exactly.
we mean. Not Latin as nothing, because but people might think, wait, Latin from France, something weird. So Latin
I'm
we mean
not a
as a
Latino. The Latin
exactly. We mean
Empire.
as a like a cultural Latin as the language, and the Roman Empire. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So that has influenced,
Okay.
and I would say because right now, I mean, I'm trying to always be composing, which is not
Okay.
always easy, but just for sanity, but if I keep composing, I'm great. If I'm not putting out music, then I become grumpy, and it's good, and it's not good for my marriage.
It's a
So
good.
it's no, it's better
You
to
are like
keep
one.
the creative
Yeah. You're like with your. It's like a kind
yes.
of a. There are people that do journaling. There are people that do meditation. Your healing
Yeah.
tool is the gift. Is playing music and composing. Your wife is she's
Yes.
a painter, so I
Yes.
think if she couldn't do paint, I think she would feel the same. So you're a family of
Oh, yeah,
artsy.
yeah. I mean,
You're an
I'm
artsy
super
family.
lucky. Yeah,
It's beautiful.
exactly. I'm super lucky because I think to be a creative, it's great to have someone else that understands it.
Yeah,
Because I mean, sometimes if you have a creative urge at
yeah.
1 a.m., uh, it can happen to her or it can happen to me. We understand because it's like okay, you have to manifest it.
Yeah, you have to
So
put it. Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
That's
not like any marriage whatsoever.
no, no. It's good.
But I mean, if we can talk about the musical influences of
Yeah.
Sweden, because the thing is, okay, maybe the next album is going to be super metal because I'm in
Yeah.
Sweden, and it may be, but I've also been part of. There's quite a nostalgic vibe in Sweden. There's a
Mhm.
lot of, for some reason, Toto and Europe were very popular here,
Okay.
and there's quite a vibe of reliving the 80s here.
Yeah,
And
there is
I've been
Sweden Rock Festival, which gets a lot of like Swedish erotica, still art,
exactly.
White Lion,
Mm.
all
So
these huge bands from the 80s. Yeah.
uh, and so there's also new bands, like younger bands that are sort of paying homage to
Yeah.
that sound. And I've been in bands like that, and I've tried to channel my inner Van Halen, um, which I mean I can do tapping, but the whole high kick and jumping, I am very bad at that.
The very glamish
But
style, let's say, is not to you for you.
yeah, but so that came as a surprise, like to be
Yeah.
quite active there. And so the consequence is that when I'm doing my own stuff, then the whole metal gets off there. Like, oh
Like,
yes, that's great.
so that has, let's say, that a little bit of the Swedish music as well, like because of course Sweden has been known like one of the two land of the death metal when
Yes,
it was
yes, yes.
born. So we have Florida and we have Sweden. So maybe who knows?
Uh,
In the future, you will have a death metal coming towards you. So we can say that
uh-huh.
MikhMakh as a little bit of a really. I wouldn't even give to MikhMakh a genre. Like if
Okay.
you want to say by yourself, not a genre, but like an adjective, a word or something that could describe the sound of all incorporating all
I
these
mean,
albums. Yeah.
what I found that is close enough is saying that it's alternative metal,
Okay.
because if you listen to the instrumental arrangement,
Mhm.
it's metal.
Okay.
And when I sing with passion and engagement, and
Okay.
because I mean what I say. So it's quite rock
Yeah.
vocals. So then, I mean, sometimes for me it's like I just play modern rock, but then when I listen to other modern rock bands, I'm like, no, it's heavier than that.
Yeah.
So that's why I say alternative metal. But basically, it's heavy riffs with melodic singing. And you talked about death metal. I love it. Like when it's other bands, I love it, but
Yeah.
I really like melody. So
Yeah.
uh, in terms of instrumental stuff, I dig it completely. And when
Okay.
it's someone else doing the singing and the whole
You
this
like
type of
it.
thing, if they mean it and it's honest, I tend to feel engaged
Yeah, of
to that.
course.
But as long as it's me singing,
Yeah.
I don't think MikhMakh will be that death metal.
Okay. So
Even
let's say
if
that.
the instruments get
Okay.
heavier, the singing will always be
Of course, I
more
like.
melodic.
And I just about like as well, like because of course the last album is Flash Sale. So I can ask about what is it about, because I think you are as well the one who write the lyrics. So
Yes.
of course, who else? I mean, maybe your wife. Wait, her name is Lisa. Is Lisa his name?
Yes.
So maybe Lisa is the writer. Who knows? We don't know. So in general, really in general, because I want to just stop a little bit then in Flash Sale. Since like first album, second album, which is the main message that with your music and with your songwriting you want to put out in the world, in the music scene, in the world? The world seems like we are the champions, we are the world.
I know, but it's a very, very interesting question that I didn't think about. So,
Okay, you just thought
it's no, but it's good. I mean, in the sense that I haven't thought of we stand for Vikings, or
okay.
this sort of
Yeah,
whole line
yeah,
of
kind of image. Yeah,
big message. But that's one thing that has changed. I mean, the first album, the message was, "I am here and I want to play."
okay,
So, and obviously, like, there's way too much information on that album, but
okay,
it's there, and we used it to enjoy, like, play on the
okay.
sense we play the instruments, but have fun.
Yeah, that's
The
the thing.
second album, I tried to be like, I think it's a positive album. Like, it talks about the difficult subjects, like, being, ecology and,
Yeah, the
earth and this sort of
climate
stuff,
change.
and exact, but trying to stay positive.
Yeah.
With the third album, because I mean, the second album, I've said it many times, but not to you.
Oh,
I
in fact.
composed no, I composed the whole album
Uh-huh.
instrumental first, and
Okay.
then I wrote lyrics
Upon it.
and melody to the instrumental stuff, which
Okay.
made for sometimes a bit of trying to fit
The
a
words.
cube on a
Yeah.
round hole.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I've composed this beautiful piece of music, but I don't know what to say. And
Yeah.
that's quite frustrating, because you would think that I composed this, I wanted to manifest something, but I don't know what.
Yeah.
Whereas with Flash Sale, I did the other way around. I wrote the lyrics
Okay.
and then the music to the lyrics. So it was for me the first time that I wrote lyrics just like that, and see
Okay.
what comes out. And it turned out to be a way more engaged album. Like,
Okay.
it's a bit more pissed off, but like, because I talk about, in Whole Hypocrisy, I talk about Italy and how it can be
Yeah.
difficult to balance politics and religion.
Well, yeah, I think you know a little bit about Italian politics. You know how shitty show it is. Yeah, we're like a man,
So
I think. Yeah.
so in Whole Hypocrisy, I talk about that. In Bakuna Vendetta, I talk about massive entertainment.
Mhm.
That I think we deserve better in short terms.
Yeah.
That I really love movies, and I love any creative
Okay.
endeavor that can be, like, honest.
Creativity is important.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's very hard. Like, having a good movie is a
Yeah.
miracle right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah, of course.
a thing.
So, of course, Antoine, I want to ask you, if you think about that, if you think about like your music, could it be used as a
Yes,
soundtrack? Which
yes.
movie, if there is already a movie that you have in your mind, in which movie you would like to hear it, or how this movie should be? If there is no movie, like, I don't know, if that didn't come something to your mind, like how this movie would be. Like, would it be a Western? Would it be a psycho thriller? I don't know.
I mean, it's I have two answers, because I
Okay,
find your
okay.
question super interesting. The first
Okay.
answer is there will be probably, like, a revolution of the people towards to take the power down,
Yeah,
which is, I mean, we've seen many of those, and
yeah.
of course I'm French, and revolution and whatever, but
14th,
what I feel
14th July of 1789. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, I'm good. I have
Bastille.
my favorite topic, the French Revolution.
But so the thing is, for some reason, when I'm writing,
Okay.
sometimes I have a story in my mind. Like, for
Okay.
instance, the song "Both Sides."
Okay.
It talks about, I mean, it's based on the fights we had during COVID and also during um, the yellow jackets
Yeah.
in France,
Yeah, I remember that.
where when you have empathy, you can have empathy for both sides. And
Yes.
of course, there's troublemakers in the order side.
Yeah,
I
there
talk
are
about it.
in both. There are in both, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But mostly there are good people on both sides. People who are
Yeah.
suffering and people who want to defend their
The right
country
idea.
and who
Yeah.
want order and who want to live in a
Yeah.
safe environment
You're saying
and
that.
who are just
Yeah.
following orders. And so in both sides, I see it like the two verses
Yeah.
are from one side and the other, the legion and the rebels. And then I like to think, and that's the point, that at the end they look both towards like the main one who's causing chaos, which in this case is the king,
Yeah.
and they they fight together to restore the right order.
Yeah.
And everything when I'm writing, it's like very
Um,
clearly in images. Like
yeah.
if I had the possibility, I would do way more ambitious music videos portraying all of this. So and I mean, there's it's almost for almost every song there's
Yeah.
like a pictorial
Yeah, of
thing, like
course.
a pictorial story happening. So
Yeah.
that's hopefully it answers a bit of your question. But oh yeah, and
Oh,
I have
yeah.
a third idea. It's
Okay.
I love the I love the movie Big Fish.
Okay.
The
Good.
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And like my one it's usually it's like if you could have done one movie, well, that's the one.
Yeah.
But if I could at some point, if I could manage to write something
Okay.
that can be on top of that movie, I
Yeah.
will be happy, because I really like, I think it's a very musical movie, in
Yeah.
the sense that you have flashbacks, you have
Yeah.
little cartoonish scenarios all the time, and
Yeah.
it asks, it begs for music. So I would
Yeah.
love, that's
Exactly.
sort of
So
one
that's
thing I
good,
would
and
love
as
to do.
well, yeah, and I like as well how you put it, like because I think songs like both sides, it should be
Yes.
put it out there more, because one thing that I think it comes mainly from, and here I'm gonna cite French Revolution. I don't want to dig too much,
Yes.
otherwise we were gonna talk hours about that. But one thing that started there is that not many people get to read what actually was going there. Like one thing that I
Yeah.
think it's a really, like an example, you have the French Revolution, and you have, you have the aristocracy, and then you have the people,
Yes.
which is not only the people that we see in the movie. There were we call it sanculotti in Italian. You have the people in the countryside. You have different
Yeah.
people. Same thing for the aristocracy. There are shades here and there. So, but one thing that I could say is that if you go read the paper of that time, you go and see that there
Yeah.
were good people in that aristocracy field, because they were
Yes.
unaware of what was going on in the in the countryside, in the city.
Yeah.
And if you go into the city, there were people as well that were just only pushing fire because they wanna,
Yeah.
the reign of terror. Robespierre, that's what he did.
Yes. Yeah. I was thinking about him also.
Yeah.
It's like
Like the good guy. I mean, he could have good ideals for sure, but then
yeah.
when you, and that's one of the main important things to remember. No matter who you are, if you have the power and you are not good to handle it, you become a Robespierre. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you want to like Robespierre, just don't look into his personal life,
No,
because then it's a mess.
just take a look to before he just went into the parliament. Before that, before his work as a judge with Saint Jules
Yes, yes.
and all the other people were really important, and that this is, for anyone in the entire world, the foundation of nowadays politics. It's not.
Yes.
Is a American Revolution is another thing, because that was getting let's say, getting away the conqueror, like the invaders.
Yeah.
For what happened in France, changed and shaped everything. So if we have
Yeah.
left and right as all the time, it's because people were sitting in the left and people were sitting in the right. So they
Yeah.
was born in France. À gauche, à droite. That's how I said to these other
Yeah.
people. So that's important. And if you ever to do something with it, so please put it outside. I will share it because I have to debate with everyone about this in politics. Buy a book about French Revolution, please. It will help you to understand today better, because that's the beginning when we are to where we are today in society. That
Mm.
started from there. So it was an increase.
Yeah.
So coming back to as well to your music. So people that want really to get the copy of Fresh Sale, they can find it, of course, I think, in all the digital platform, right?
Yes.
There are
Yeah.
physical
Yeah.
copy
It's
too.
available everywhere. Yeah.
There are physical copy too.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Through Bandcamp. Through Bandcamp,
okay,
there's the CDs.
okay.
Uh,
And about the artwork,
but I mean that. Oh, the artwork is Lisa who's done it. She's done
okay.
the artwork
That's what I
for
wanted to
the
hear.
3 albums.
So,
Yeah. And and it will be like that forever. Like it's the identity. I'm the musical identity, but like,
she's
and
the
she's overdone herself. Like she's done, like for the first album, she did the album cover, but then
well,
the more it goes, like the more she's doing. If you have the
she,
physical album, there's a whole identity throughout the booklet and everything.
oh, and
So
then she
she's just
made.
super kick-ass.
Okay, so the people can have as well, like the physical copy. So I mean, you, like I said, you should have brought her next time. You put her by your side. So I'm gonna talk about her as well because she's involved. I mean, how she get inspiration for a painting, for the music, for your music. That's important because we don't talk about only. I mean, I don't talk only about music. I talk about anything. We can talk about
Yeah,
even like history. We can talk about even, I don't know. I talk with I don't know if you know this guitarist. It's called Estas. Estas is
hmm
we talk about meditation. He asked me why you
yeah,
want
yeah,
to interview me. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, because I do meditation too. So you see, we can
yeah.
talk about different things. So people can take this copy, and there is something going on about the live shows that you're thinking to do, like in Sweden, like even
Yeah,
locally.
I mean, so far
Okay,
we're doing. I mean, we did the one gig, one festival that was like the
okay,
comeback of MikhMakh last summer, and then we focused on
the
releasing
new
the
one.
album properly. And
Okay,
right now we did a show 2 weeks ago locally. We're doing one
okay.
tomorrow, and working on doing as many locally as possible.
Okay.
I did with the previous lineup of the band. I did a European tour in
Mm, cool.
2019. That was great. But what I'm trying to do right now is like promote the album,
Mm-hmm.
see where it sticks.
Well, yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
If people like it here and there, and then
Yeah,
find
of
those
course.
people touring instead of, the European
Yeah,
tour we did was like small rock venues, rock
yeah,
pubs, and places where there's usual people who come like just
yeah.
to check new bands, and that's okay. But I think I'm trying to
To do the
to
opposite.
to get to yeah to do like the promotion first, and then
The
have
touring.
shows where people come to check us out because they like the album.
Because like the album and then already maybe the song and they
Yeah,
know as well the
exactly.
second and the first song. Okay, so let's say I would say that so people can find any I would put all the links regarding MikhMakh
Yes.
under as usual. I don't like to say under the box. It's gonna be available
Yeah.
on the interview. And so right now there is a so it's an actual project. It's just the promotion of the album and some live locally in Sweden, so people can check it out
Yes.
in social media.
Exactly.
And I would say that we should really next time. So we just you gonna perform a little bit, so we're gonna see as well how people reacted to the album.
Yes.
I want to listen. So next time we
Okay.
have to bring her because we will have the other, let's say the other part of MikhMakh too, the
Yeah,
visual.
I mean
Yeah,
the main, yeah, the visual part, and she's
yeah.
always there to, like, she's the counsel also. It's like when
Okay.
I'm she's probably the reason why Flash Sale sounds great, because when at times when you want to give up and just release it and so
She's
on,
there.
she's like, no, 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 it deserves better. Just keep pushing.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah, she's the main
Yeah.
she's the main character of my life. That's
Of course, it's your wife, of course. So I would say, let's do it another if it's okay. Like coming back of the summer is gonna be good updating and bring
sure.
bring me
I
some.
mean, sure thing.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Antoine. It was really a pleasure. And finally, we did it. We managed to do it.
Yes,
And
thank you for
have a
taking the
beautiful.
time.
Yeah, it was always
Yeah,
a
thank you
pleasure.
so much.
Of course, of course. And I will add you and Lisa if it's okay throughout the social media too. So we're gonna keep in touch.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see as well. I want to see your work as well. I'm curious.
Yes.
Like the other work. So thank you so much, and see you. Let's keep in touch throughout the social media and whatever. Have a good rest of the day.
Perfect.
Bye
Yeah,
bye.
you
Bye
too.
bye.
Finally taste revenge. I get to be the bully now. From my throne of innocence, I will make you bow.